I wanna do is have a chance with the team. Coach put me in, gotta get me a ring. All I wanna do is have a chance with the team. Coach put me in. Okay, King Saul conquered. Giants getting slaughtered in the name of the Father.
So, what up, family? Welcome back to the Eternity Living Podcast. Boy, Ty T. Austin. Today, I got a guest on, somebody that I actually enjoyed meeting. It was a fun experience meeting this guy. Just every day, it was always something. Whether it was the inside jokes, whatever, the way we was pissed off, whatever. Like, what I'm saying? I'm glad I got to meet this dude. So today we got Tyler Davis on the show, so we can clap that up. So Coach Tyler in the building. So man, first off, just introduce yourself for the people. Let them know who you are.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name's Coach Ty, Tyler Davis. So you can follow me on my IG at I am Ty Davis. IG is Coach _ Ty Davis. My bad. Twitter is I am Ty Davis. But you guys can follow me on my social media platforms. But yeah, excited to be here today. It's been a long time coming, so hopefully I'm able to give everyone here the advice and the motivation that they need to excel at that next level for sure.
Yeah, man. So yeah, my boy Ty. So listen, first off, he ain't this quiet, so I don't know why he talking. I don't know why he talking so soft right now. So he ain't this quiet, but this is my dog, man. Like, I had the pleasure to meet this guy down at DME Academy, man, like some years ago. hey, hey, yo, when I tell you, like DME was an experience, yo. Like, shout out to DME, the DME family. Yo, man, love y'all, man. Definitely the ones that we came up with, the ones after us, keep going as well. But yo, we had a time at DME, bro. Like, so first off, we was down there on internship. So I know I pull up the DME in my little Camry, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm here. And I remember first seeing Ty like just around the facility. When I tell you, first off and foremost, I want to give him his flowers while he on here. But yo, like you really one of the hardest working dudes, like I know. Like, and it's a different grind that you have. And most people would be like, yo, man, he might not have no time. Like, no, like what I learned about him is like, yo, he's on the grind. Like, so when he needs to get something done, it's like no procrastination. It's like, yo, I'm going to do it. Now, everybody hit those times where they may not want to do something, but like for real, I always seen Ty be consistent. For real, like just going to get it, man. I gotta work, you know what I'm saying? So I always saw that in him. So like, where did that drive come from?
Man, I don't know. I just I honestly say, I've always had it. I've always been that type of person where I always love to stand out the most. If anything, I never really cared about, the attention that I may get from the work that I, have displayed for others.
Yeah.
I'm just all about the work, and that's all how it's always going to be for me. I'm just really passionate about the things that I do, for a living. I'm always wanting to excel, at the highest level. I always wanting to push my limits, and so anything that I can do to help the next generation, getting to where they need to be, I'm always going to be willing to do that at the same time. So I can honestly say when it comes to that work ethic, I know it's like leadership, it's some things that you can't teach people, but when it comes to that, look, man, it's either you have it or you don't, so I can honestly say when it comes to the work ethic, but I'm going to do what I have to do just to continuously chase the life that I never had. So even where I'm at this point in my life, I'm still working. I'm always going to stay humble because I don't want to ever put myself in that predicament where, when I do finally get to that next step, when I have a whole position of power, I don't want to take advantage of that, nor do I want to take advantage of the ones that are coming up behind me either. So I want people to be able to look at me and see that I'm that leader that they want to follow. So at the end of the day, I'm always going to be my genuine, authentic self, and I can't express that enough to the next person coming up or any of my friends that I have within my surroundings. So just continuously be yourself, and like I said, the more you continuously do that, just watch how far you get. You're gonna lose a lot of friends, you're gonna lose a lot of people in your life, but at the end of the day, you have to be, excited about who you are and what you're going to become later on.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy, like talking about that work, like for the people. So whether you're in college right now, high school, grown, like let's talk about the internship life, bro. Like, yo, yo, let's talk about the internship life because they gotta know. So I think like a lot of times now, people run from volunteer work and they run from trying to get internships.
Right.
Understand, like you volunteering is still helping your profile.
Yep.
You volunteering is still giving you the knowledge that's needed to go forward in whatever capacity it is you're trying to go as far as your career. Exactly. Volunteer also shows people that you really have good character because a lot of people want to do jobs and get paid versus coming in to help somebody out, you know what I'm saying, to push a vision. Yeah, you may have one yourself, but to show your heart to volunteer is a big thing. It's almost like a lost art now, man. Like people don't volunteer no more. Like internships probably still happen in college, but you know what I'm saying? Like as far as people getting out trying to volunteer and do volunteer work, it's like a lost cause. So like run the people through your day at DME. Like how did your day start off? What you have to do, the hours, all of that.
Inventory when it comes to uniforms, logistics, making sure all the teams are making sure they're squared away, whether it be the girls teams, the boys teams, from the regional team, the high school national team to the post grad team. Even though everybody had their own particular team they had to worry about, but everybody collectively has to work as a team. But in the event that something happens, if someone were to be out of sick and things of that nature, man, everything is just like everything was on the go, so, I'm kind of all over the place, where to be basketball operations, community service initiatives, compliance, making sure everyone is, held accountable and eligible, to play, and making sure you keep picking up, the high schoolers from school and things of that nature. It was like, you're professional on one hand, but then also too, you're basically, you're a parent also in the day, but you have to, because we're dealing with, with kids that are coming from overseas as well. So not only do we have, taking care of kids within the states, but you have guys from Senegal, Russia, things of that nature. So
and they was a handful, yo.
Man,
they
so but it's things like that, like after the fact you learn to cherish, but
Yeah.
at the time when you're a little younger, it's like, man, what's going on? But at the end of the day, you have to just be grateful for the opportunity that you were given at that moment in time, because you never know where you're going to wind up later on, so all the people that you encounter, you don't want to make a bad first impression, if anything, so just like I said, it's always important to be your genuine authentic self, because the first impression means everything. And even after that, if you make a mistake, it's not about the failure, it's about the come up afterwards, so you don't want to necessarily feel as if you're not good enough to be in a particular, environment. Always know that you're good enough when you walk into certain rooms with people that you may not know. Always have that self-confidence within yourself, because if you don't have that confidence in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you either. So, they have to see what you're going to bring to the table, but only how they know what you're going to bring to the table is if you have the mindset and mentality, that, you want it. If you really want it, they can tell, but if you don't want it, then maybe this just isn't the life for you. Maybe this isn't the career that you need to, pursue. Maybe you need to try something else that may be, not as challenging, because everything is not going to come easy at this moment in time. So, it's entirely up to you. But when it comes to the volunteering and the internships, man, it's gruesome work, but at the end of the day, like that's gonna make or break you. I honestly say with me at the time, you begin to, show, how much you truly value not only where you are, but how you truly value yourself. And so when you begin to value yourself and understand like what you're fully incapable of bringing to the table, it makes it so much sweeter at the end. Like I said, the pay may not be great, bro. A bunch of traveling, may not get paid as much, but at the end of the day, it'll all work out. But like I said, those are the challenges that you have to go through in order to get to where you need to be, so that's kind of how I saw it. I'm going to chase the life I never had. So if that means I have to continuously do certain, jobs just to get there, then I'm willing to do it. But obviously be strategic about it too, and be smart about your decision making on where you're going to go in life. So like I said, everybody's not going to be willing to do the dirt work, but at the end of the day, people are always watching you. Yeah. And it's up to you whether you want to continue to do the work. Like nobody's going to hold your hand. Nobody's going to micromanage you. If you don't want to do it, guess what? They'll find someone to do the job itself. So you don't want to do it, they can fire you, and then somebody else can come and do the same job that you were just doing. It's easy. Yeah. Sometimes it's just time consuming, obviously.
And definitely at our time when we was interning, mind you, I was like, how old was I? Like 25, maybe 26.
Yeah,
it's like 6 years. Yeah. Not about 4 years ago, maybe. Yeah, about 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was about 24.
Yeah, I had to been over age to even. Matter of fact, to be honest, I was over age. I was over age to intern, but I think the conversation that I had with the people, you know what I'm saying, they want to be there. But like he said, man, like the money, man, like definitely, bro, we was happy. I'm gonna be honest about my pay. Listen, I was happy to get that little $500 at the end of the month. And I remember the first day we got it, we went to the mall. I remember we went to the little outlet mall. But I was like, yo, I got $500. I gotta pay my phone bill. And after that, like I ain't really had no real bills after that. So I was like, at least pay my phone bill. And then I was like, yo, it ain't worth it to buy nothing. Like I'm good. But like, yo, the 500 wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? And like the 500 also didn't measure who we were as people. You know what I'm saying? Like we busted our butts around there. Like when I tell you, like, as an intern, as a volunteer, like it's better to work hard than to not work hard and do your job halfway. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember, and I was telling Ty this, I asked him, I was like, yo, you remember how I left the little equipment room when I left? And he was like, nah. I was like, bro, I said, bro, I had that thing looking crazy, like looking good, because even though I knew my time was up, I was going through some mental stuff and, you know, just had to come home. I didn't want to quit, but I had some mental stuff going on. So I had to come home. I was like, I still want to leave a lasting impression. So if somebody walked into that locker room or that space, they saw how I left it. And I remember I had high school regional one place. I had high school, the national team one place, post grad. Everybody uniforms looked like a college uniform locker room, a neat one, because all college locker rooms don't look good, but a neat locker room. And I made sure the balls was up. I made sure the things was in place. So like at that point, it was my character that drove that. And so just realize your character is the thing that's going to put you in certain rooms. Your character is the reason why certain people is going to take a chance on you and hold you under their wing. Or the character is going to be the reason why somebody trusts you with keys to a building. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can't get the keys to the teacher workroom, to the gym, right? To the office. Right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't get those keys. And so your character is the reason why that happened. Now, going back to talk about the schedule, because I want to go in depth about it, like literally 4 o'clock in the morning, we up. Yeah. We up, getting the kids up 4 o'clock in the morning. I know by 5 o'clock, you better be out the house probably by 4:45 for me, because I had to pick up, you know, high school nationals sometimes. Yeah. But then I was in the house with them for a short period, and then I transitioned over to some of the other guys, the high school regional guys. But like just to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning getting the kids up, like that was a struggle, yo. And then on top of that, we got to take the kids to the school, to DME. Yep. We gotta cook breakfast.
You gotta clean up.
Hey, yo.
After we clean up, take them back take them to school,
bro,
and then come back to DME because we had post grad team that had to do workouts, so we had to make sure they got their workouts in. So at the beginning it was 2 post grad teams, and then they extended them to about 3 or 4 post grad teams, but then that ended after a little while. But
shout out post grad owners too.
Hey, we got that. We still got a little post grad white and blue. I'll tell you that. After that, it was just kind of like after they were done, then granted we had to go. There were times we had to go pick those guys up too, and then bring them back to DME. Then once they were finished, take them back, you know, to their apartment complex. But luckily for us, we did have a couple of post grad guys that were driving, so they was able to help us out. Luckily for that, so we didn't have to make multiple trips back and forth to the apartment complex and then the venue at that. But then right when we're finished doing that, we probably have at least about an hour or so to just rest. But then right after that, about an hour or so, We going straight to pick up the high school guys from school, then get away from them to come, because it took about a minute for the taller guys to get in the vans. I'm telling you.
Shout out to Sonic. Hey, shout out to them boys.
Hey, autonomous guy, y'all know what we talking about, so don't play that, yo.
Good job, fellas.
Yeah, but shout out to them, because the son, he's at Austin P right now.
Yeah, so he's at Austin P. He's at Fresno, and then I know Majal, he at Radford right now, and then man Young. It's a lot of different, man. Listen, DME had some hoopers, you know what I'm saying, and like I think that's one thing I do miss is like that level of athleticism or talent, you know, coming from high school guys. A lot of people think just getting in the gym, putting up cute shots is what it is, or putting up little cute dribble moves. Like, yeah, that's cute, but like when you gotta play in the game, you know, against other dogs and top people in the country, yo, it's different. Like, I remember when we went down and played Scotty Barnes and Vernon Carey, yo, the first play of the game was a tip, a pass, and a backdoor to Vernon on the alley-oop. Like, after that, I knew, like, this game was going to be crazy, but our boys competed. And on that team, they, of course, Vernon went to Duke. Scotty went where? Scotty went, I can't remember where Scotty went. I don't know. I don't even think he went. Did he go to? I don't know where you went, Scotty, but you went somewhere. Then they had a dude from committed to West Virginia. So, like, that team was stacked. You talking about, like, ACC Division I talent on that one team. And so, like,
but Anthony Simons,
oh my goodness, yo, but Anthony was different. And then not even him, but also Jamal Mashburn. Jamal Mashburn's son was crazy. And so, like, you walking in the gym with these people, like Jamal Mashburn's son literally did not miss, yo. Like, he did not miss. And it was crazy. I'm talking about, like, by halftime, it was like, yo, we know we can't contain this guy, so now we got to take away the next best guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just can't let him get off his shots like that. But, like, dude was talented. So, to y'all young hoopers, you know what I'm saying, that's like at these schools, you know what I'm saying, that you feel like you got it made, understand, like, the basketball world has done nothing but expanded. Everybody want to hoop now. So, if you're not putting in the work to hoop, you know what I'm saying, like, you really wasting your parents' time. If you come to practice and you complain, you don't want to run, you don't want to shoot, you don't want to talk, you don't want to commit or listen to what your coach saying, like, understand, we've been in the room with top level D1 athletes.
Look, we've been in the room for guys that were scouts in the NBA, former general managers, at DME Sports, at the DME Academy, the co-owner of DME, he was an assistant coach for the Lakers when they won back-to-back titles in 09 and 10 with Powell and Kobe. So obviously these guys have a lot, of knowledge that they have shared with us. And so honestly, what we're speaking right there is no joke. And to piggyback what he said for the next generation, I'm gonna tell you like this: there's talent everywhere. So just letting you know, you may be this 3, 4, 5-star recruit, but you still got to continuously put the work in. Never feel as if like you're better, you're like overly qualified, to continuously, learn from, someone that's really going to teach you, how to be, not just a better basketball player, but a professional at the end of the day. There's so many things that we see on TV, we want to glamorize, but at the end of the day, we don't see the work that people put in. We just see the end result. So obviously, no matter what level you're on, there's talent every single place. If you're good enough to go D1, hey, go D1. You can go D2, you go D3, you go NAIA, you go JUCO. No matter what level you're on, there's talent everywhere. And I'm telling you right now, there are D2 and D3 guys I'm pretty sure that can whoop on D1, players. It's an honest truth, but like I said, even right now, all you high school players out there, if you got, offers right now on the table, I highly advise you to take those as soon as possible because the portal is no joke. So coaches that's what they're looking at first.
That's the name of the game now.
Yeah, it's all about the portal first. That's strictly the portal. And essentially high schools, guys gonna be last. Right. Unless you're like 4 or 5-star recruits, you take advantage of those opportunities while you have it, So obviously, like, always think about at the same time, you're not entitled to anything. you literally have to look yourself in the mirror and continuously humble yourself and understand like there's somebody else that's want to take your spot. Somebody can literally take your spot at any point in time. Don't think because you're at a certain point now that that opportunity that was given to you, it can't be taken away. You are literally one busted knee away from no one never caring about your entire career again. So I highly advise you to completely understand your situation. If you have opportunities and offers on the table right now, please be strategic about it and really look over and research like what you have going on for yourself, because before you know it, all coach got to do is go to that portal, and if they see that if there's someone better than you, they will offer someone else that offer that they had given you, and then before you know it, that offer is off the table. You may have 5 offers. Like I said, the portal is real. So once they get in that portal, it could be 3. Like out of those 5, 3 can already be taken away just like that, and then you're stuck with 2, and it may be the 2 that you not even were never even like highly even want to be recommended. So it's entirely up to you. Don't wait too long. Obviously there are certain players that have that luxury, but like I said, no one is entitled to anything.
And let me tell you, like the crazy part is the portal has became that way because people understand this. I probably scouted a Division I guy, right? But that Division I guy that I scouted, not saying that he's not good, but he just can't produce at the level I need him to produce at.
Right.
And so when he hits that portal, it's not like he's going from high major down to Division II, Division III. He may go mid-major Division I, but he's definitely going high-level Division II. So those programs that's flourishing, high-level Division II, has Division I talent on it. So like he said, that's the name of the game now. So like a lot of people too, and I'm gonna clarify this or clear it up, a lot of people run from NAIA like it's trash. And when I'm telling you, I came from an NAIA school. So undergrad, I went to Johnson and Wales. Yeah, we wasn't Division III or Division II, but now they are. They have moved up. But when it come down to the NCAA NAIA talk, understand if you're playing Division I NAIA, that is equivalent to playing high level Division II ball. So people like, I don't want to go NAIA, but why not? Because if you go NAIA, guess what? You still got NCAA eligibility. You see what I'm saying? Like it doesn't go anywhere. So, but if you come from an NCAA school to an NAIA school, yeah, you already using eligibility. But the thing is, people be like, oh, well, I want to go to the NBA and stuff like that. Do y'all not understand that Scottie Pippen went NAIA? I think Elgin Baylor went NAIA. Dennis Rodman with NAIA. Those all 3 Hall of Famers that I have named, and there's more on that list. So don't think just because you're going NAIA, you're not going to get looks. And I'm going to tell you real quick, like I went to TPG Scout School, right? Some years ago. In that room, Drew Hanlon, you had Fran Fraschilla, you had Wes Wilcox, you had Tony Ronzoni, you had all these different people that was in the NBA, GMs from the Chicago Bulls, like all these different people. And what they told us as scouts was this: the NBA will find you.
Exactly.
You don't have to search for the NBA when you have talent. When you have talent, the NBA will find you. Meaning, if you got an NBA body, an NBA game, and your hands are good, your feet are good, and your character is good, most likely NBA team's gonna know who you are, definitely if you're making a little noise. So you don't have to go out and be like, oh, like I'm trying to put myself in position to be seen by the NBA. Your job is to go to a school, hopefully play at a high level, get there, get a free education, and play basketball inside, out, day, night, whatever. Put in the time. And so, man, at that rate, man, don't run from these NAIA schools, man. Like NCAA is definitely cool, and Ty can give me the background on that. Because I know he was messing with the NCAA or still is. So like, just let them know about your background and that too.
But to piggyback off of what you said, because I want to forget it,
Yeah.
I understand, the whole D1 or bust type of thing, but look at it this way: would you rather walk? I understand there's some kids that would rather walk on to D1 programs as opposed to going to a JUCO D1.
Right.
Why would you do that when you get your entire tuition paid for it if you go to the JUCO? I never really understood that, why, but I get it. It's glamorized, from a social media standpoint. Like, hey, I'm going D1. I want to make it to the league, but if you honestly believe that you're that good enough to make it to the league, then why don't you showcase at that JUCO and then just transfer after a year or two? It's entirely up to you. I mean, like I said, there's talent everywhere, but if you honestly believe that you're that great, showcase it down at that level. Like I said, they'll find you. D1, D2, institutions, they'll find you. Like I said, they're not too far away. Like social media is huge now, so everybody knows what's going on. So everything is advanced. So at the end of the day, you have to be able to bet on yourself. Like I said, I'm not saying that you can't do the same thing when you walk onto these D1 institutions, but at the end of the day, like you don't want to garnish a lot of debt walking on to an institution like that's just like I don't want to say any school, but like it could be any random D1 school. You want to just walk on there and then how much how much loan you have to pay back if you decide to do that. But like I said, it's entirely up to you. But like I said, take your talents to where you are truly valued. Don't go somewhere where others will be excited about where you're going because it's D1. If honestly for me, I would rather sign to a D2 program as opposed to a D1, especially if that D2 program fits to what I have going on.
Right.
And then, like I said, I don't want to go to a program where I know I may not get a lot of playing time. Whatever fits me, that's where what'll lead me to. I don't want to go somewhere just because that's where I'm gonna get the most attention from. Because at the end of the day, it'll be a waste of time if you go somewhere just to post your on social media and say, hey, I'm committed to such and such, and then come to find out you don't even play an entire year, then you end up having to transfer to the D2 anyway. You just wasted a whole year when you could have been playing at the D2, working your way up, and then transfer to D1. You see how much time you just wasted? But
and it do something to your confidence.
Yeah.
Because like mentally, it's like, yo, I want to go to this Division I, and it's like I want to go Division I because of whatever, right? But then, like, you realize, I'm really Division II talent. Like, if I go to Division II, I can get off. But, like, at the same time, it's not to undermine Division II. Mm-hmm. Some people just got to be honest, Like, if you know you're not a dog and you're going to get it, you know what I'm saying? You might, and you Division I talent, you may want to go Division II. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. You can go to Division II, kill Division II, and actually move up to Division I. Nobody said you go D2 and then got to stay there. But a lot of people, we retreat. And I feel like we do that in life sometimes. Like, we be feeling like, oh, we here. And then, no, like, you really here. And instead of you staying here, you such in a rush to try to get to that mountaintop to when you find out you don't fit the mountaintop, then you got to go back down the hill. You see what I'm saying? So me personally, I think that's where volunteering, interning come in, because now I'm getting the right experience. Now I'm sitting in the room, and shout out to Lance Blanks, man. I can't talk about DME without talking about him. And the reason why is because, man, this man really spoke some real stuff to me. Did every conversation feel good? No, not at all. Not from Lance. Every conversation didn't feel good, but he was somebody who was in my life that believed in me and was like, yo, Ty, I can see you going here, you know what I'm saying, when you put in the work, but you can also go be a plumber and make a lot of money because I know you're capable. He was like, but if this basketball thing is what you want, you would put in the work. Now, I know things are changing in my life when it come down to sports, but I'm always be sports-led. But the thing is, I'm grateful for the rooms I've been able to sit in. I'm sure you feel the same way, like, being in the sports world and being able to sit for an office GM, in their office and talk to them, to be able to talk to Jordan Brothers and Matt Carroll of the Hornets and Paul Silas at one point, and they talking to me like, and I'm telling them what I know. You know what I'm saying? They're like, it seems like you've been sitting in front office. When you talk like that, it's because you've been places. And even before certain things started, I still served even at my college. I should have hooped. That's what I should have did. But I gave up, for real. I gave up. I went to tryouts. They had a little open tryout. I went. I was like, bro, like, I'm good. And shout out to the dudes that hoop there. Like, yo, man, I used to hoop with these dudes all the time, and they were some killers. Like, they was good. But I talked to the AD, just being real. See, I was different. I'm like, yo, let me talk to the AD to see what you're going to put into the program. Now, if I can go back in time, people say they wouldn't change it. I would change that, because it's not my place to try to see what this AD is going to do. it was my place to take my opportunity for what it was going to be and go ahead and have my fun and play college basketball. You know what I'm saying? Something that a lot of people don't say that they or can't say that they have done. I should have went ahead and played, but instead I chose to manage, bro. And shout out to Franklin and Frazier for allowing me to be there to still manage. You know what I'm saying? I had some good times. And I remember we played High Point in different schools, St. Andrews and all these different schools. We played Central, and they allowed me to talk in the locker room. And so, shout out to them for seeing something in me. But understand, just because you're a manager, just because you're a volunteer, just because you interning, that doesn't mean that you'll never have a voice. That means you're soaking in so much wisdom and knowledge about where you are to where when you step out, you're able to go far on it. So, you know what I'm saying? Just understand that. So I see a comment. I want to take some time out real quick to read that, and we're going to get back to the segment. So it says, wow, two of the best coaches I ever had. Hope both of y'all are living life to the fullest. Know that I carry y'all around me wherever I go, in my heart, in my mind. Thank you so much. Yo, that's Matt.
That's Matt.
Yo, hey, what's up, boy?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, shout out to him. And this kid right here, bro, you talking about, so I talked about Tyler working hard. To be honest, Matt is a representation of Tyler in the sense of his work ethic. This guy always wanted to learn. He played super hard. He had tremendous vision. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoy watching you play, Matt. So just know, man, I love you. I know Ty, he can say it too, man, on camera, whatever you want to tell you. But I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And don't ever let those moments fade from your memory, bro. Keep going. You're a tremendous athlete. Even though people may say you undersized, whatever, bro, you did some tremendous things at DMV. And then also just your gift, man. You playing the keys and being a musician, that's dope, man. And I know we connected on that too. So we was actually just talking about you the other day. Yeah, we was talking about that the other day, bro. And we trying, so the dude named Denzel. It is Denzel. It's Denzel. So I was trying to hit you up, Matt, to see what was that dude name from Dubai. Yeah. So it's Denzel. But yeah, man, but that shows you the kids watch y'all, man. The kids are watching.
And the piggyback off that, you said something interesting, about being undersized and playing this game that we all love. I got a story that I like to share real quick. Throughout my life, I would honestly like to say, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, so in my mind, I always felt like I was the best from the moment I picked up a basketball from third grade all the way up to after my sophomore year of high school. I can honestly say after that, I was the best. But it does come a time in your life where the game may not no longer love you anymore. And that's probably one of the most devastating things that I could probably ever experience in my entire life. To know that you put your heart and soul into something, and then when you get to a certain place in your life where you're trying to excel, you want to get to lead when you're undersized, and two, you're not even sure if this is something that you want to do anymore, And so I can honestly say, taken from that, I had to bought it in. I had to suck that up, man, as a man, and understand that this game isn't going to take me where I want to go.
Yeah.
So knowing me, understanding he asked earlier, where that work ethic come from. Like I said, I've always wanted to stand out in high school. Sure, when everybody's going to take Spanish class, I'm doing French class instead, which kind of helped me at the end because now I was bilingual at the moment in time. But at that certain time, it's okay, well, since basketball not gonna work out, so what's my plan? So I had not only plan A was basketball, plan B was baseball. I was relatively good, but at the same time, my senior year, I played football and I got hurt. So the next best thing was plan C, run track. I was fast, so I just took it upon myself to do that, and I ended up running track at Morehead State University. Shout out to Morehead, go Eagles! I know what I'm saying. Whatever. So. My bachelor's, there in sport management, but I loved every minute of it, and just because, I never got to, take that opportunity to make it to the league, that doesn't mean that I wasn't going to utilize my mindset and take it to the next level and still be able to put myself in a game that I love, and in doing that, I just kind of just took it into gear, I applied to grad school, and it's like right after high school, I just started, taking it upon myself and work at the high school level, be an assistant AD and try to work around from an admin standpoint. But there comes a point in your life when, you feel like you're worth that much more than being in a particular position that you were at that moment in time. And so, I saw what I was capable of doing, so I excelled even more to want to take it to the next level and see what was going to happen. So, next one, the worst case scenario would end up happening. Not only went down to Florida to DME, after that particular opportunity was closed case, I took a step back and I came back to Kentucky, and obviously for like 3 years, I wouldn't advise anybody to do this, because it takes a while to get back into the game, especially if, you've been out in a while. So, I've been out for about 3 years, it sucked, but, it's something that I had to do, obviously, just from a personal standpoint. So, I had to do that, lost my father, at that moment in time. And then also too, just getting into graduate school at the University of Cincinnati. So go Bearcats, got my master's there. So like I said, it's just not y'all day. But, after that, I got my opportunity to be a director of player development at Eastern Kentucky University, on the women's side. And obviously, let me give a shout out real quick to Dev. He played at DePaul. He was he just left Putnam Science Academy on the women's side, but he got me into the whole concept of looking at the women's route, because obviously from my standpoint, I always feel like there's always love on that side that need to be tested, need to be showcased up, and so that's kind of something that I felt that I wanted to do myself. And is obviously the guy side, you have it all there, but the women need to have some light shed on them too, and that's something that I want to definitely take advantage of for sure. So and shout out to to Lindsay, she gave me an opportunity to work at EKU, and I had a pretty I had a good time there, learning from her and learning from Samantha Williams, who's now the assistant coach over at Tennessee Vols on the women's side. So shout out to Samantha Williams. I love you, girl, man. Like I said, I appreciate the opportunity that you had given me. And Matt Thune too. He's now the assistant coach over at Utah Tech. So appreciate you guys too. Still talking to this day. Still giving me a wonderful advice on how to be a professional at the end of the day. And so even after that, I will say that shout out to James Williams. He's a former executive, working at the NBA. He worked for the Atlanta Hawks and the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. As a player scout coach, he has a scouting company called Between the Lines Sports. He has a podcast called Attack the Podcast. So go check him out. Appreciate that. He had given me an opportunity to get back into sports. After the EKU, opportunity, and so from there, I kind of just kickstarted my own craft, and just did a lot of scouting, throughout the summer, scouting, for a lot of, girls basketball players from the high school level, and, helping them out with doing NBA draft, combine, things of that nature. So it's been pretty great, to do things of that nature. Like I said, you never know who you're going to meet, but that's always great to take advantage of those opportunities. But for me, I never looked at it, it's like I always knew somebody's looking around my shoulder. It was just, if that's something that you really want to do, then you're going to always be willing to do something, at that moment in time, because you never know, what life gets you, So I can honestly say, even after doing that opportunity, I got my chance to, work at Coppin State, so I went from working in the OVC and now to MEAC, so I worked under, Laura Harper and Jermaine Woods. Shout out to them for giving me an opportunity to work with them. So I was director of basketball ops in that program. Love the girls there. Love the entire program. We had a wonderful time. I was definitely challenged, the most, and outside of DME, EKU, and Coppin State, I can definitely say, when you get thrown into the woods and be able to challenge you to see what's really going on, what you want to do, hey, it's real talk right there. So I will say, like I said, I've never been entitled to anything, and I never want to either. So, like I said, every person that I've met on my journey, I've always been grateful, that I've been able to meet those individuals, because it made me this individual, that I always want to be the best version of myself, and as I continuously improve myself and go along with my journey, I know no matter what, every single thing that I've learned from every single individual that I've encountered, it just makes me a better version, as I encounter others that want to be in those same footsteps, and even now, I'm currently I'm at Seton Hall University, as a direct student athlete experience coordinator there. So I work with all of our student athletes, 14 varsity programs there. And so kind of got a whirlwind of things, whether it be from advancement, student athlete development, compliance, and IEL. So I'm doing a whole lot of different things, from a D1 level. So like I said, I went from OVC to the MEAC and now the Big East Conference. So, like I said, I'm always doing nothing but moving, scoring away, but I'm nearly nowhere where I want to be right now, so every single day is an improvement. Every single day, I always want to be the best version of myself. I want to continue to get better than what I was doing last week or the week before there or last month. So regardless of where I am right now, there's always work to be done. And so, I want to, do the same thing like my boy Ty here, do podcasts. I want to get my stuff squared away too. Got my motivation speaking business about to be squared away too. So, hey, we're gonna be coming, speak to you guys, let me know. But, like I said, every day is a blessing. You don't want to waste any of your time that you have on this earth because there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you met certain individuals. And I honestly can say, I've been blessed, to be in rooms where I know for a fact that I belong. And I'm going to always believe that I belong because I have the confidence to know that no matter where I go, you can't tell me I don't know something. You can't say I don't belong to be here because I've done the work. I put the work in and I've truly understood what my value is. And when you understand what your value is, the sky is the limit. Like I said, I'm not where I want to be right now, but I'm telling you right now, everything is just everything's repetitive. You got to keep improving because what you done last week means nothing. What you done this week,
Absolutely.
got to get better at your craft. So everybody out there, if you want to work in sports or anything like that, I highly advise you to really prepare a portfolio. You're going to need that. Take pictures of everything that you've done, any work that you've done, screenshot of whatever what you call it in a PDF format, a fax format. I know you have those type of apps out there that you need to do, but you guys need to do that. It'd be so much helpful. And like I said, the next generation guys, whether you want to play football, basketball, baseball, or anything like that, do understand, life is short, but also too, tomorrow's not promised. Take advantage of the people that you have in your life that wants to see you do better, that genuinely wants to see you do better. And that's with that, whether it be networking, any job that you want to go for, you're gonna meet people that, it happens, but at the end of the day, but you always have to be proud of being who you genuinely self. Don't try to go out of your way to try to impress people because at the end of the day, you're trying to look for a job. You can't just walk up to a random person and ask for a job. You have to get to know that person first before you can do anything of sort of that nature. So like I said, the grind is what it is. Even if you have to do, unpaid, work, and I totally understand what this year's, climate things of that nature, like people got to pay their bills. But at the end of the day, people are watching, remember that. But if that's your motive to do the work, then I don't think you want to be in this realm then. But like I said, you have to do it because you're really passionate about it. Like when I grind, I don't grind for attention. I grind, because I'm passionate about what I do for others. Like I'm gonna always grind because I want others who are watching me from behind that I want to put them in the same position that I am in today. Like I said, everybody sees the end result, but they don't see the work that's put in. So at the end of the day, man, it's either like you either with it or you're not, So I will always keep it straight. I always be direct with individuals because that's just who I am. And then, at the end of the day, like I said, you are who you are for a reason. Like I said, don't put yourself in a predicament where you have to appease a status quo. That's not you, because when you start forcing it, that's when you get lost. So like I said, you can start from here, try to appease people you want. You can start from here. The next thing you know, you just try right at the bottom all over again. You got to start over. And then just remember, those same people that you try to appease, those same individuals may not be able to help you get a job later on down the road. And it's those other individuals that were actually genuine to try to be your friend or anything of that nature that could have helped you, but you chose to go the route of appeasing people that really don't care about you. And that's with anything, whether it be networking or trying to play sports in the next up or anything. Be careful who you surround yourself with because your circle does matter.
Your circle definitely matter, but something you said, man, like if you want to do the sports thing, understand, like you got to prepare yourself, right? You got to prepare yourself for the fire. Like he talked about being, an assistant AD, and I can relate because now I'm an AD at a school. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, like when I tell you, like every single day I walk in there, first is about the kids.
Right.
It's about building a relationship with the kids. It have nothing to do with my job first. Then on top of that, it's like, all right, since I'm the athletic director, I want to make sure that I implement C's into these kids about sports. So let's learn discipline. Let's learn responsibility. Understand, listening is a skill. It's something that you have to develop in order to be successful. If you just talk, and never able to sit down and listen to somebody talk because you want to say something, you know what I'm saying, you would never go far. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to sit in the conference for hours and listen to people talk. If you just want to rebuttal all the time, or somebody say something wrong and you don't agree with it, like you got something to say, like you're not gonna always go far. Sometimes you gotta bite the bullet, right? So as athletes right now, young athletes, professionals on here, whoever is watching, understand your job is to do what? To listen, to understand. And then when that time comes where you can have one-on-one conversation with that coach or that organization, do it then. But sometimes in practice, at tryouts, in the game, sometimes you just got to close your mouth and say yes and keep going. And I remember, like, I made a mistake. We had field day, and I did everything right except for I was missing cups and I didn't put out the water sponge game. And what was given to me, I just put my head down and I smiled. I'm like, okay, I took the heat. You know what I'm saying? I love the people that helped me. I took the heat. What if I know how I grew up. I knew I had a smart mouth. I knew I used to cuss. I used to do all of that. But like Ty said, we want to be professionals. So at that point, I'm taking the heat. Like, now, we could have got past field day without that game, but because it was adamant for them, it had to become adamant for me. You know what I'm saying? And so I went and I did it. But understanding the sports world, when it comes down to managing people, you got to learn how to manage people too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people are going to run over you. They're going to try to do your job. They're going to help you, or they're going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for you to have tough skin, you have to develop that as an athlete, as a professional, as a manager, as a volunteer, as an intern, and as a business owner. Or if you're a coach, you also got to have tough skin, because referees, we know how that go. You know what I'm saying? So, like, understand, everybody got jobs to do. But in the sports world, you got to have tough skin and you got to be able to put your head down and work hard. So just understand that. And then another thing that, you were saying, Ty, like, I feel like what the people have to understand is there's levels to these different platforms. Like, MEAC is Division I, but then you have what, Big East? Like, that's a powerhouse conference. So even though they at the same level, Big East is still like Big East. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different level of preparedness or preparation that you have to go through in order to even be successful at that level. So definitely, man, proud of you for like doing that too, man. It's dope to see your life just unfold, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, years ago, we was interns, you know what I'm saying? We went through some heat. We had some bad days. We had some great days, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to J-Dog, Dev, like you said. Like, you know what I'm saying? We had people that also poured into us, you know what I'm saying, who was there. And no matter the age, we all respected each other, the ones that did talk and communicate and talk positive or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no egos, and like, we all learned our respective fields. And from that moment, I think that moment prepared us for the private conversation we had. And then after that, how are we going to move forward? Like, are we going to continue to say this and that, or we just going to do what we supposed to do? And I think me and Ty, like, just understanding each other's lives in that moment, like, I think both of us just decided, like, hey, we're just going to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? At this point, like, and so everybody don't make it out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't make it out. And I say shout out to Alex and Jesse too, man. Like, everything works together. You know what I'm saying? And so that was our team. Me, you, Jesse, Alex, and then Coach Dot. I ain't know why he was there. I ain't know what he was doing. But J-Dog was running the place, man.
Hey, shout out to Jordan.
Hey, shout out to Jordan. He was running the place low key, man. But
and Momir too.
Oh, Momir,
yeah, good guys, great guy, great individual. He was a former scout for the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. Even to this day, he still gives me advice on how to be a professional. He currently right now he has his own like scouting marketing business called Athlete A. He's Athlete A plus. Yeah, but he's doing really well for himself. But I really appreciate him, for continuously, being adamant and making sure that I continuously, not only bless the next generation, but also making sure that I'm, walking by faith, not by sight. And obviously you said something very interesting that I want the next generation of student athletes to understand. You have to have thick skin, tough skin at that, but do understand too, there is a difference between disrespect and accountability. Disrespect is obviously self-explanatory, so obviously it's someone belittling your character, but accountability, like if I'm holding you accountable, I just want you to improve on the things that you're constantly, making mistakes on. Yeah. I don't want you, feel like that you're gonna fail at everything. So if I'm getting on you if I'm constantly getting on you, because I genuinely want you to get better at your craft. I'm not going to belittle who you are as an individual and what you're doing as a talent. I always want to continue. I want you to get better because I can't want it for you. You have to want it for yourself. And that's kind of how I see it, from this standpoint, as you become an adult, as a professional, and any career that you set your eyes on, just because someone, points out something that you've done doesn't always mean they're criticizing you, they're critiquing you. So that way, next time you know what you've done wrong, so you don't have to make that mistake again.
Say that again.
Everybody wants, the best out of you, but you, however, have to want it for yourself. If you don't want it for yourself, then this probably isn't something that you're going to want at all. So, and that's with anything. I don't care whether you playing sports or want to be a doctor and that nature, but you have to want it for yourself before others want it for you.
Hey, and that's big. Like, notice he said they're critiquing you, right? So a lot of times when somebody critique you, it can either be good or bad, right? Now, if it's positive, we good. Yeah. We happy day, you know what I'm saying? Like we in there. But like, yo, let that jump be bad and we ludicrous. Like move, you know what I'm saying? Like, so understand, like when people critique you, it's not always received correctly. And I think we have to do a better job when it is delivered as far as you have to grow, right? We have to be critiqued in a way to where we accept that thing and say, okay, this is going to help me professionally, right? So as what I'm trying to say, let's say volunteer, right? If you learn that during your internship or the times that you volunteer to serve, right? Once you become a professional, it's like, yo, I've been here before. So I'm not even gonna trip when you be like, yo, I think you need to be a little bit more organized, right? Or you can't keep forgetting things. Like you have to know how to put things in place. And like, I'm telling you because of personal experience. Like, yo, my first year being an AD, bro, I have been through the fire. But have I smiled through it? Yes. Have I been respectful? Yes. Have I prayed to God on multiple occasions? Driving to that place like, yo, like, God, you got me. I'm going through the fire, but you went through the fire for me. So I know I'm going to come out on top, like I'm straight. So like, it's just your mindset that you got to have, because in those moments of being critiqued or people all on my case or whatever, and I said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing in response, I wouldn't be an AD still, right? They would have got rid of me. But because I went through those stages of understanding the game, playing the game, volunteering the game, talking to professionals, internship, bachelor's degree. Then what we do? We went back to school and got what? A master's degree. You see what I'm saying? We put ourselves in position to where we learned so much. And even though this may be a first time, we are capable to do the job. Mistakes don't mean that you're not capable to do the job. Mistakes just mean understand what you're not going to do the next time to make it more successful.
Tim Hart said it best. You can't evolve unless you make mistakes.
You can't. And so when these things happen, we can't be like, oh, woe is me. Yep. No, I'm glad the mistake happened. Yes, it hurt that it happened. I'm sorry that it happened. But I promise going forward, this is noted, right? We're not gonna do the same thing next time. So yeah, that's big. So going through the fire, that's big, but also in life, man. I feel like a lot of people we retreat with life because we see ourselves to be at a certain place or have certain things and da da da. And because we don't have them, we want to backtrack and rebel, right, against ourselves. For believers against God, right? For unbelievers against ourselves once again. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to retreat instead of being like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard right now, but I'm still press through. And so I was talking to one of my young boys today, man, and I know he's in a situation, you know what I'm saying? But I told him, I said, yo, you capable. You talking about education? I said, bro, I know you smart. And I know what you're doing right now may not be right. I said, but as long as you have a plan, but you got to stay in the fight. We can't run from it. I know what you really want, right? But if he continue to run, guess what he gonna do? He gonna keep doing whatever it is he doing right now because it's easy access. You know what I'm saying? Like having access isn't something that's going to be handed to you. We got professionals in the industry, whether it's college professional, who has the keys to be like, hey, come work here. Yep. Or we recommend you so you're gonna get the job. But they're not gonna just hand it out to us either. You see what I'm saying? Like, and to put it in perspective, because I like to be honest and open. I have people that I can email today that's NBA GMs actively, yep, who I can be like, hey, like, do you have something open? And because they know me, it's not still a yes. It's like, no, we don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? But keep being relevant. Keep like, yo, I'm like, well, shoot, you told me to put my name, put your name on whatever. You see what I'm saying? But you can't even give me a shot. You see what I'm saying? Like, do I get mad at him? No. I just gotta put in my time. And when something come available, it's at the right timing in which I'm going to get that job. So right now, one of my basketball dreams was to be a coach, yep, in the G League, at least the G League. And I wanted to work for the Hornets, being honest. I wanted to work for the Hornets, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if I never get that position, my JV boys, my middle school boys is my Hornets, right? So I'm going to treat them like professionals that they are, right? And so we be waiting for these platforms to be like, we made it, when really you got coaches, this is for you, parents, this is for you. You got opportunity with your kids right now to make this the biggest stage of their life. So if you're coaching middle school, you coaching high school, you coaching college, understand, and let's keep it on high school and middle school. If you coaching here, you are now at your biggest platform. And so if you want to work professionally, how about you run a professional organization with the kids that you coach and hold them to a certain standard? So that's one thing we learned, or I learned. I'm pretty sure you learned the same thing. There's a standard into being a professional. There's a standard to being an athlete or having responsibility. And if you can't hold to that standard, then you shouldn't be a part of this organization or that team or whatever it is you get to serve in. And so, man, that's huge.
Like I'll give you a prime example. So obviously, when we were younger, we want to play around, we want to act buck wild and things like that with the kids, right? As you continuously get older and you are in these specific rooms that it's going to matter long term for your future and your potential future family, you have to carry yourself a certain way outside of those rooms, So for me, I've always been this way, So at the end of the day, everywhere that I go, I know someone's always going to be watching me. But even at that, I'm watching myself because the last thing I want to do is make a certain mistake. And then from there, all it takes is one little mistake. And then I can no longer work for certain organizations that I may potentially want to work for in the future.
Right.
So I have to, be that professional and take a step back and allow, whether it be my friends or other individuals that, I may, consider as my acquaintances to do certain things that we probably used to do when we were once kids before, but now we're grown. It's like one of those things when you get after high school and things like that, you tend to just separate from the one that you can't grow with anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just understand, like your vision is different from others. And so when it comes to these jobs, things of that nature, this is what people have to understand. We may be best friends, but let's just go for this, for example, let's say Taiwan, is still struggling to, matter of fact, let's go the other way. Let's say I'm struggling doing what I have to do, I can't get to where Taiwan is at this moment in time. Once Taiwan gets on with the Charlotte Hornets, I can't just come out of nowhere and then ask Taiwan to put me on. Taiwan would be a fool if he chooses to put me on with the Charlotte Hornets and gives me a great recommendation. And you know what happens if I don't do a great job? Not only do I lose the job, he loses his credibility, and on top of that, he loses the job as well because he put his his name on the line to make me look good in order to get a job that he worked his dogs. He worked hard, he worked really hard for it. So what kind of person would I be, to be able to put myself, in that predicament to make him lose his job that he worked for that I really didn't work for? So there's levels to this, so to speak. But like I said, at the end of the day, you still have to learn to humble yourself and understand that you gotta be in love with the process for sure. And so that's I can honestly say with us, to this day, I'm proud of you, Ty, for the things that you're doing, and continuously, helping excel the next generation, making sure that they believe in themselves because like I said, you can't want it for them all the time. They got to want it for themselves. But the fact that you're able to put yourself in that predicament and show them that you believe in them, that gives them nothing but more confidence to believe, what they have going on long term, what they want to pursue. But, like I said, in general, like this is one of those things where, like, it's either you have it or you don't. Like, this is something you really want, but I can honestly say, like, just the vast amount of individuals that I've met that have given me the tools and resources that I need to continuously overcome adversity. It's been nothing but whirlwind for me, but like I said, I'm not one of those individuals that wants to be given anything. I want to earn it. I'm going to always want to earn it because at the end of the day, like I said, I can be fired at any moment in time, but those relationships that you develop, people always know if they're genuine or transactional. There's a big difference, like if you're gonna be genuine, that's how you're obviously just being yourself at all times. You don't want anything from anybody, but if it's transactional, you literally just want to talk to somebody just because you want something from them. And even then, that's just if no one knows the difference between genuine and transaction. So, like I said, it's always great, to continuously build that network. Like I said, your circle is going to be small, relatively small. But luckily for me, like I won't name names, but like I said, I have a mentor that works for Major League Soccer right now. And he's giving me, that mentality and the platform to understand that, not everybody is, going to always understand you, and it's not my place to try to get people to understand me. The best thing I can do is control what I can control, and that's when I walk in that room, I know who Tyler Davis is, I know who Coach Ty is, and so when I go do any coaching, camps or things of that nature, if I go to do any speaking engagements at high schools, elementary schools, and colleges, I want everybody to know exactly who I am at this moment in time because you're going to remember my face and the mission and the message that I have for you. Because if you don't understand it now, then you never will, and then you'll just be watching, standing by on the sideline, watching everybody else getting, pursuing their dreams that you could have. Because there's a big difference between dreamers and the successful. You can dream all you're going, trying to compare yourself to others, but when you're successful, you're not comparing, you're just going to take action right away. Yeah. So what do you want to be? You want to be successful or do you want to be a dreamer?
And the crazy part is, I had that thought today. It's like you ever sit back and you have a vision, you be like, yo, if I just take this step, then I know. And it's like I seen somebody literally talk about having a band, right? Creating this band. And when I say they started doing local stuff, right? Started hitting regardless of who showed up, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I seen them now prosper to traveling to Atlanta to do shows in Atlanta, to going to having Sunday jams or whatever, and people showing up. Like, and sometimes it's us. We blame everybody else. I guarantee the people who are watching this live or hearing this podcast for the first time that know me, that have said something positive to me in the aspect of Ty, you should do that more. I guarantee everybody or every single one of them probably shook their head at me. Was like, yo, because you're not being consistent, because you're not posting enough, because you're not putting this out, right? Or this was good, can you do this again? Like, I enjoyed this segment, but can you do it again? And I sit back and I get in a funk because the way life hit me. You know what I'm saying? But the people that become successful are the ones that step out. I respect this one dude so much, and I ain't gonna drop no name, but I respect him so much because every day he's on Facebook and he's talking about his business, or he's talking about things that he can do, like embroidery and all of this stuff that he can do in-house, right? Every single day, regardless of who pops on his platform. He don't just stop and be like, well, ain't nobody come on. Like, no, like he continues to go. And I think that's the mindset we gotta have. Whether you're in sports, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a principal, whether you're a coach, right? Whether you're an athlete, whether it's your mom and dad, brother and sister, or dad, whatever, like husband, wife, relationship, whatever it is, understand, like, yo, you have people around that really want to see you be successful. And you can be if you just bet on yourself. And I know you said that, and I know I posted about it the other day, like, yo, you just got to bet on yourself and keep betting on yourself. And shout out to Mitch, because I remember when he said that, like, shout out to you, bro. Like, he was like, yo, I'm betting on myself, all such and such. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So understand first, like Ty said, you got to be confident in yourself. Like, I have never walked in the room, and I'm being honest, I have never walked in the room nervous when it came down to having to speak to people. Now, having to play music in front of somebody, bro, I was nervous. In front of John P. Key, I was nervous. In front of Todd Delaney, I was nervous. Listen, you see what I'm saying? In front of Marcus Anderson, I was nervous because these people were prominent people in this industry that I'm now playing in. But when it came down to networking, that's one of my favorite things to do. And just a shameless plug, I actually read through this the other day. David Shands, he got a book called Networking, No-Nos, and it's talking about hygiene, how to talk to people, what to wear, what not to wear, what to be careful of. So shout out to David Shands for this book, man. Like, I actually went through it, man, and it was dope. So, like, no matter what industry you're in, you have to know how to network. You have to know how to be confident. You got to know what to wear, what not to wear, how to look, what not to wear in certain rooms, you know what I'm saying? Because it helps. If you're gonna be rebellious and be like, man, I ain't listening to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna go far. But if you could listen to critiques of you from others, you'll go far, man. And so I don't know, man. That's super dope, bro. Like, that's super dope. Tough skin, confidence, knowing how to network and talk, speak, and stop putting people on pedestals. Stop idolizing people. I have to say that on this platform. Stop idolizing people that are the same as you. They just got a name. Now, there's a certain thing as respect that person, right? But stop creating these idols, right? We do that, and then we get around these people, we shell shock, when really, with my basketball mentors or people that's professional who had notoriety, how they told me, we read past the BS. They can see the BS. When I had the opportunity to talk to Michael Jordan at Johnson & Wales, do you think I talked to Michael Jordan? No, because everybody else was talking. I just came in the room with a certain presence. And he watched me till I sat down, looked at me, smiled, and shook his head. So when I walked out, all right, Mr. Jordan, I see you. It's because I want to work for you one day. I don't want to be a yes man, and he's one of my favorite players. It's Allen Iverson first, and then Jordan. Sorry, Mike. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm Kobe all day. Look at that.
So it's like, yo, yeah, you're Jordan, but yeah, I got you on posters, but I'm not about to be like, oh, praise you. No, I want to work for you one day. Yeah, you did some great things, but I'm not about to idolize you. And I think that's one thing. God gives opportunity to both sides. He gives opportunity to people who idolize people, but he also gives opportunity for people who don't idolize people. But the difference is one idolizes and one don't. You should never put nobody before God. And on this platform, I'm going to talk about that. So you should never put a person, thing, or whatever before God, right? Stop idolizing these people and walk into that room and make the right connection that you need to be successful for yourself. walk out with information, right? And have conversations. That's it. Sometimes you don't even need to take pictures with these people. Just talk to them. They'll remember you.
Nah, honestly, say, think about what he said, it's funny you mentioned being at a conference. So shout out to ESPN. I attended a month ago, I attended the Black Sports Symposium where I met a ton of different individuals, a lot of professionals, some really great people, shout out to DJ, Mike, Danny, Megan, Paris, great individuals that I met, Hazel, Megan, Sean, yeah, you guys have been great for me. I'll say this, especially at that particular conference. When you're at these conferences, we all understand, what we're there for. Everybody's looking for a job. Like I said, can't just walk up to somebody and ask for a job. But at the end of the day, you are your brand. How you carry yourself, how you represent yourself everywhere you go, people notice how you move. Like I said, there's levels to this. So, when you portray a certain image that isn't you necessarily, people pick up on that and they tend not to want to engage with you. That's why I say it's always important to be your genuine, authentic self, because people thrive off of that. People want to be around those that want to be around good people, So when you're proud of being in your own skin and being who you are, it makes it so much sweeter when you're out and speak with individuals that may be at a specific level. But do understand this, like I was probably 10 feet away from Rich Paul, literally. The thing is that yes, Rich Paul is somebody I want to speak to, but the individuals that you really need to pay attention to are the ones that are sitting right next to you.
Entourage.
Every time. That it's not the ones that are on stage. They know you're gonna come, but at the end of the day, they know once they're finished speaking, they know everyone is gonna come bone rush them and try to speak to them. But it's the ones that you're sitting behind, in front, and side, and right next to are the ones that you're gonna want to keep in contact with, because you never know where anybody ends up being. But like I said, we're so caught up in the landscape of you see a name tag and you see Miami Dolphins, or you see Cleveland Cavaliers, or you see the Miami Heat, and it's like, oh, I want to speak to that person because they work for those franchises. Don't fall in love with the company per se, and that's what gets everybody so lost in the sauce. Like I said, we all know why we're here, but like I said, it's the individuals that you're sitting right next to are the ones that you want to pay close attention to, because I could very much so be at the conference now, but I could very much so be at ESPN next week. But you wouldn't have known that because you didn't care too much to get to know me, because I was in the same situation as you. Like I said, you have to fill the room, and like I said, always be who you are, because people do understand what the environment's like and the circumstances are. But if you're not being who you are, initially, it'll never work.
Man, listen, yo, you said a mouthful, man, and I'm gonna exit this podcast on this note. Understand, like on this episode, the three things I want you all to take away from this episode is the one, not hold yourself so high to where you're not willing to serve. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. Two, always be confident in your abilities no matter what. And number three, understand the importance of walking in rooms and getting the right information, right, for yourself. Get the right information so that way when you walk out of that room, no matter what they gave you, you can still utilize, right? And so that's the biggest thing. And like, before I close out, one shout out to God, man, for allowing this platform to be. Subscribe to Eternity Living Brand. If you don't follow us already, go ahead and follow and talk. You go ahead and drop yours again.
All right, follow me on IG is Coach_Ty Davis. And on Twitter is I am Ty Davis.
Yeah, man. So make sure y'all follow that. And when I post it, I'll put it up there as well. But understand, man, always remember, be good people. Everybody don't come from the same background, same religion, same culture. So give people some grace as well. For the believers, judge the right body. Stop judging the unbeliever because they don't believe yet. And so for the believers, we have to make sure we're holding each other accountable. But for the unbelievers, we need to embrace them as well with the same grace that was given to us from God. So that way one day their hearts may be open to Christ as well. So you just never know. people are watching, just like our athletes, just like our kids. People are watching to see how you move and see what you put out there. And one thing I'm gonna do for myself is I'm gonna start watching what I tag myself to or tap on Instagram, because I just never know. Like, and one thing I gotta work on is that for real. And so, what if I tap a picture that a kid see, and we tap the same thing, and it's not appropriate for them, but I'm tapping it too. So, like, I want to work on myself too as a professional here on camera, giving it to you all on the podcast. I want to like take accountability for myself in that aspect. That's something I can work on being a professional. But other than that, man, just remember to love is to live, and to live is to love. For believers, to love as Christ is to live as Christ. As to love as Christ is to live for Christ and for Christ. So understand that, man. So like, no matter what, love your neighbor, man. Even if you don't know them, if they're strangers, so what? So many times we walk past people every day. We don't know what's going on. It's almost like, look at the game like Grand Theft Auto. Like, you may walk past somebody who may not look like you want to talk to them or they want to talk to you, but over their head it's 10 rats. You see what I'm saying? I'm 10 rats. If the right person come up and speak to me, I give it to them. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know what people possess. So, man, keep walking in love, and I appreciate y'all. So if y'all on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, you want to ask questions from this segment, or if you have comments, we will come look at the comments and respond to them. For my podcast listeners, man, we out.
Coach put me in, gotta get me a ring. All I wanna do is have a chance with the team. Coach put me in. Okay, King Saul conquered. Giants getting slaughtered in the name of the Father. Work hard, prosper, giving God all the honor. Enemy getting bothered. Whole team in some armor, cause iron getting sharpened. God behind us, no harm in us. 17, I was caught up in the darkness till his light shined upon